Hi, everyone. Welcome to the MenoLounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, founder of MenoWell, Menopause Energy and Protein Bars. And no, there's no peanut butter here because I ate it, right? You know, that's what you gotta do. Hey, Australia walkabouts. Ashley, that you wonderful. I'm so excited today. I got distracted by all the people hopping in. We're going to talk about something so unusual. I almost guarantee you've never heard of this before for strength training, especially when you're in menopause. I know. You're like, come on. What is it? What is it? Well, I'm going to bring up Ashley Selman. Right now, Ashley, hang on here. We're going to bring you up. Let's see. This is going to be, and I actually have, I have show and tell to go along with it, Ashley, if you're listening to me. Evolution. Let's see. Evolution trainers. Make sure I have you here. This is the part where, Ashley, if you're here, you can also raise your hand just to make sure I grab you. Oh, I should put on my readers. Don't have the right thing here. Why is this? I used to be really good at this. Lately, it's just been so awkward. All right, Ashley. Hang on one second. I see you there. Ashley, are we going to come up? Maybe you're going to come up as Ashley Selman. Let's see. I'm going to try that. Dr. Jen Ashton just came up. Ashley. Don't give up. Okay, here. Let's see if you grab that. If it's coming, fingers crossed. Hi, Mary. Super glad you're here. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, good. I was trying to pull you up as evolution, but I'm glad.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, sorry about that.
No worries at all. I am so excited. Ashley has been hunting me down. I have been a very bad WPO, Women's President's sister to Ashley, but she knows I love her. I love what she's doing. So I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. This is awesome.
And we have to thank also Barb Sobel, who's our clinical nutritionist and a good friend of yours. She's like, you have to get Ashley on. Yes. Okay, so Ashley Selman of Selly, I want to say it right, Selly Strength and Evolution Trainers.
Correct.
Tell everybody a little bit about your background and then don't say anything we're going to be talking about. What's inside this thing?
I love it. I'm so glad you brought them.
Okay.
Yeah, so my background, I've been in sports and fitness my whole life. I own a personal training, physical therapy, chiropractic, live-oriented gym in the Bay Area. Been in business for 19 years. Made it through COVID, thankfully. That was a rough time, but we are back in action. But I've recently got, I'm 53, but I went into menopause at 43, which I was super not expecting. So been through a bit of a ride with that, and now have found what we're going to talk about, this amazing tool that helped me really get back to myself after going through a hard time through menopause. And I also had a hip replacement. So had kind of a tough 40s, I would say, between that and really lost a lot of my fitness. Even being a trainer myself, I was just not as strong anymore, and I wasn't feeling the same amount of energy, and was kind of worried, starting to worry about the future and what, even someone who I was working out and trying so hard, and it just wasn't cutting it.
And how is that when you are the trainer and you're like, what happened here? I used to know how to make this work for my clients, but for myself, that really brings you back to who you are.
Yeah,
right?
It's tough. And I have to say that, my 30s and 40s, I had a fair amount of depression around my body, even though I was a trainer, mainly because I had this hip injury. I broke my hip as a kid, and I was training clients in my 20s and 30s, and I couldn't do the things that I was teaching them to do because of this injury. And I was a very active person. So it was a pretty rough time for me, but learned a lot. And, all those sayings of like, when you go through a hard time, what's the silver lining and all of that. It's like, I do feel now like I've come around to the other side of it and learned so much, and also just in a really unique opportunity to help other people now that are, especially women, in a similar life situation, whether that's, during peri and post menopause, and or have body limitations that just can be really frustrating, because you hear all these things about you need to lift heavy, you need to work out hard to maintain your strength. But if your body can't do that, then what do you do? And that's where I feel like this technique is very uniquely situated to help that type of person. And that's what helped me kind of come out of my hole. Yeah.
I'm
exactly.
just teasing. I'm teasing. There's something in here I'm going to take out. But I love that. I do believe, I know it's happened many times in my life, those hard times, that there are gifts in there once you get to the place where you can actually look for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it brings us to our superpowers, our passion and purpose. And when we heal from that, then we can teach it forward. So I love that you have turned those hard times into something so transformational for women. And we talk about, of course, on the show all the time about lifting heavy. But what does that mean if you can't? And especially, we know that one of the symptoms of menopause, perimenopause, is frozen shoulder. Now what? So
Yep.
should we tell them what's inside this cute little thing that you sent me?
Let's do it.
Okay, I have to confess, so Ashley sent me this, and she's like, okay, we're going to do this thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Lame. Okay, but I just had to make that confession. So, Ashley, we're going to talk about BFR, blood flow restriction training. I want to make sure I got that right.
You got it right.
BFR. So can you tell everybody what BFR is, the background, and why the heck we shouldn't be scared of the stuff I'm about to pull out of this background?
Totally. Well, you're exactly right. First of all, blood flow restriction is kind of a scary sounding name. And I think that's one of the reasons why more people haven't flocked to it, because it's got a little bit of a stigma. But the cool thing about BFR is it's literally been around for 50 years, and it's really been in the last couple decades in the Olympic athlete world, professional athlete, and the physical therapy world. It's proven, it's not experimental. It has been proven for decades that it will increase your muscle mass and your strength under a light load. And that sentence right there, if you think is game-changing, life-changing, because never before BFR could you do that any other way. There's no way to build your type 2 muscle fibers under a light load. Type 2 muscle fibers are the muscles that we lose the most as we age, because there are stronger muscles. And if they don't get challenged, they don't get stronger. They start to atrophy. But as we age, it gets harder and harder to challenge them because of body limitations, aches and pains, old injuries. And so with BFR, it allows us to train our type 2 muscle fibers very easily with light weight. And so it's only recently coming into the fitness market because they needed to have bands that were affordable and easy to use and safe to use. And those only came out a few years ago. So that's why it's come new onto the fitness scene. That's why people haven't heard about it, but it's been around for decades. It's just now finally kind of out there for anyone to be able to take advantage of. So that's why I'm super excited about it.
Wow. So you heard it here. Breaking news on the Menopause on the MenoLounge here on the Menopause show. Okay. News. And I can see how for women in the stages of menopause, this is a perfect training system for them. But it is intimidating. Let's get real about this. And me, I like to try all kinds of things. And I think I had just come back from a trip or something, and you were starting a beta group within our women's presidents. And I'm like all these things, like, I can't do this, and I don't know. And like, what is this? So Ashley, for weenies like me, is that a bad word? A weenie. So talk us through a little bit about how this works. I don't know if you have one with you there, or you just want me to hold things up. But let's do a little master
totally
class
blew
a
it
little bit.
and didn't bring mine, so I'm so glad you have yours. So I'll coach you
I'll
through
be
putting
like
it
your
on real
Vanna,
quick.
your Vanna White,
Yeah,
your
your
Julie
Vanna
White. Tell me.
White. So get out one of the smaller bands and let's put it on your arm if you can.
So they come in 3 sizes, right? So you, first of all, if you work with Ashley, and it's a virtual program that we're going to talk about, and this is not a sales pitch. This is so you understand, although we don't mind buying things. It's you understand how it works, and so you might consider it. So comes in this cute thing.
Honestly, the reason why, I did start a virtual program with this, and I've never wanted to do a virtual program. I own a gym, but it's the first time that I have recognized women need help with this. They're not just going to go out and try it themselves, and nobody's helping women learn to use this tool, make it not intimidating. It's actually very unintimidating once you do it because it's super simple, but it sounds and looks intimidating at first. So I'm trying to help women get over the hump of it's really not difficult once you learn how to use it. It's actually simplifying your workouts. Also, it makes your workouts really fast. Instead of working out for 45 minutes to an hour, literally 10 to 20-minute workouts is all you need to do, and you get the benefits of an hour workout. Whoa. And that's because the fatigue happens more quickly, and you'll feel it when you do it. The fatigue happens really quickly, and that's all your brain cares about is how much fatigue you're getting, not how long you've worked out for. So it's a little bit of a paradigm shift. It's very interesting. It was a paradigm shift for me when I first learned about, I'm so used to thinking how long do you work out? How heavy do you go? And those don't matter in this. It's how much fatigue can you get quickly, and the bands help you to get to fatigue more quickly. That's
because they restrict your blood flow.
So they restrict your venous blood flow, not your arterial flow. When they were first learning about this 30 years ago, they were experimenting with bands, and there were bands that would stop your arterial flow. And then that could cause an issue. That could cause a blood clot. Yeah, that's not good. So there was a little stigma around blood flow restriction because of that. But that was literally in the 80s and 90s. Now they realize bands need to be more narrow. They need to be flexible. These particular bands have individual air pockets, so it doesn't create a tourniquet. So no matter how tight you pump it, it will not stop your arterial flow. That's why
pass out, right?
Right. No, that's why they now are safe for anyone to use, because they've created a band that won't cause any of the negative consequences. So
got it. So here's a really long one. That's probably not for me. And then here's a medium one. And then you said a small one?
Yeah. Yeah, so you have 3 sizes there. So probably put the small one on your arm.
Well, my muscles are really big, so I might need this medium one. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Okay, where does this go?
So it's going to go on your upper arm, kind of right below your shoulder.
Okay.
You kind of got to wrap it around. It takes a second to feed it through.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to pull this part off.
Oh, yeah. You got to
I didn't do that.
Yep.
And do you keep the valve? There's this little valve thing here. You keep that on the outside.
You want that kind of on the outside front of your arm because you're going to pump up with that.
Okay.
So you can loop it through and then push it up higher on the arm once you get the hang of it. It takes a second. Once you get the hang of it, it gets easy, but the first time it's kind of hard. Yeah, perfect. And then
I'm doing it. I'm doing it, Ashley.
Do it and just tighten it. Look it. You got it.
You're gonna
and now
get me into this BFR just
I know I'm gonna get you one way or another.
Okay.
And so then now you take the pump and you put it on that tip.
Okay. This is when I got scared because hypertension, all those weird things. So, okay, just pop it on here.
Push it on there till it clicks.
Tip my camera down a little bit so you can see.
Yeah, push it on there till it clicks, and then you'll pump it up. So I'm glad you talked about hypertension. This actually, one of the other cool things about BFR is it helps to improve the health of your vascular system. So people who use BFR regularly their blood pressure will naturally decrease.
Okay, I'm struggling.
You're struggling.
Should I take this off and add it before I put on the band? Would that help?
You could do that. Yeah. When I start working with people, I send a very detailed video of exactly how to do it, and I let you practice. So we're kind of doing it on the fly right here for the first time.
I'm pretty sure you sent me that video, Ashley.
Probably did. That's okay.
I'm a bad student. Okay.
That's all right.
I'm doing
But the
this
point,
live. What the heck?
yeah,
I got this. I
you
got
got
this. Okay, done
this.
this.
You just click it on, you slide it up your arm.
Okay. Keep talking
Yeah,
while I'm fuddling over here.
and it's so I'll talk a little bit more. So once you get it on, you pump it up. You pump it up to a specified pressure. That's kind of an easy way to start. And then when you start working out, what happens is you get less oxygen to your muscles. So your type 1 muscle fibers work with oxygen. They start to fail because they're not getting enough oxygen. So your type 2 muscle fibers have to kick in even though the weight is light. Never would they kick in normally, but because your type 1 muscle fibers can no longer keep up, they do. So it's pretty cool. So
Okay,
how does that
I'm
feel?
in. I'm
So you
in.
got it. Pump it up. Pump it up. Now, probably in a perfect world, we'll keep it there today. In a perfect world, you'd slide it up a little higher. But for the demonstration today, can you get it up there a little higher?
I think we should live with where it is
Yeah,
right
live
now.
where it is today. Just exactly. So you
Okay,
pump it up.
how many pumps?
Look at your
I just did 2.
dial. Look at the dial. Pump it to 150.
Okay, there's a dial. Okay. If I had some readers on, I could see
Yeah,
exactly where 150 is.
give me 2 more pumps.
Can
2 more
you
pumps.
see where 150 is?
Yep, 1 more pump. There you go. You got it. So how does that feel? Does it feel tight? Does it feel?
It feels snug, but not too tight.
Perfect. Exactly. So it's not super uncomfortable. It's not feeling like it's cutting all the blood supply off in your arm, but it's creating a little pressure.
Okay.
And then you would just unplug the pump, and then you would just grab light 3-pound to 5-pound dumbbells, and you would start with just some basic arm exercises. I would walk you through all of this in my program, but you'll start to feel, and the cool thing is, it's a good test to do. You could do one arm with the band and one arm without. You feel the fatigue come so much faster and so much more intense in a good way, like a burning sensation in your muscle. And the burning sensation is the lactic acid building up and the fatigue in the muscles. And that sends a signal to your brain to produce human growth hormone. And that is the game changer of this method, because we talk about our hormones going through menopause all the time, but we're usually talking about estrogen and progesterone and maybe some testosterone. But human growth hormone is the anti-aging hormone in terms of all the tissue in our body. It helps with bone density. And yes, BFR training will improve bone density even though you're using light weights. It's amazing. It's because you're working type 2 muscle fibers and because your brain is releasing human growth hormone that helps build bone, build tendons, build muscle. It's good for your skin. It truly is the hormone of youth that we have a lot of when we're younger, and we gradually get less and less as we get older. And the only way to really get it is through hard workouts. But if you can't work out at a very intense level, you just don't get it. And you'll get a significant increase in human growth hormone blood flow restriction training, which also helps with weight loss because it's increasing your metabolism. Metabolism is king when it comes to our body composition. Metabolism goes up. Human growth hormone is an anabolic hormone, meaning our muscles love it. Our muscles respond. Our metabolism goes up. Our energy goes up. And I have people doing my 3-week program that they'll lose 1.5 inches in their waist doing 10-minute workouts a few days a week just because of this increase in human growth hormone.
Okay, I'm in. Wait, so I wouldn't put this big one around my waist though, right?
No. That
do that.
goes around your leg. That goes around your leg. So you have
if you see me walking around with one of these
leg
straps around my waist, like my husband's like,
Don't put
"What
them
are
on
you
your
doing?"
waist.
I'm pumping
Don't
my
put them on
waist.
your neck either.
Yeah, no neck, no waist.
Yeah.
Check.
But that's a good question. Some people say, like, can you get your core stronger if it's just on your arms and legs? And actually, it improves the strength of every muscle in your body, because not only is it slowing your blood flow slightly in the rest of your body, but really it's the human growth hormone that's the key. Our muscles get in a mode of, it's called protein synthesis, when it uptakes protein in our body and grows our muscle, and that is driven by human growth hormone. So you do some BFR and workouts with your arms and legs, and then you do your core workout, and your core gets stronger faster too. Your glutes get stronger, your chest and back, every muscle in your body. So it's really, really good for overall strength. I work out less now than I have in years, and I'm honestly stronger than I've been in 15 or 20 years. And I've worked, I'm a trainer. I always work out. So it's not like I didn't work out and all of a sudden I did. It's like I worked out a lot Now I'm working out less and I'm stronger than I've been in 15 to 20 years.
That's amazing. And it was because the bands weren't available at a reasonable cost. That's why you think this technology hasn't really taken off, or it seems too intimidating with people for all the stuff, or what?
Exactly. I think there's 4 main reasons. I think one, the bands weren't affordable enough, and the bands that were really respected or known as safe. Doctors or physical therapists had to use them and monitor them and monitor your blood flow. These bands were invented by a cardiologist who works with Olympic athletes, and his number one goal is make a band that was impossible to do wrong and that anyone could use it, and they didn't need to be with a physical therapist or doctor. So that's step number one. Now trainers can do this, and we can do it virtually. It doesn't have to be someone in person monitoring. So that's huge. The name is terrible. You got to get past the name.
It's like
because it's
Menopause. BFR needs a rebranding.
It needs a rebranding, right? It sounds scary, but what you think about is blood flow restriction. What it really does is it causes a rush of benefits. You restrict the blood, and then when you take it off, you're getting a rush of blood flow, a rush of human growth hormone, a rush of oxygen. Your benefits happen literally within 2 weeks. You will feel stronger, which normal strength training takes 6 to 8 weeks to really notice a difference. So it will happen much faster. I find motivation with the people in my group goes way up because they instantly see results. They feel it in the moment. They very quickly see it. And the workouts are 10 to 15 minutes. So they're like committed, and they're so much more consistent than they otherwise would be because it's doable and they're seeing the results. So,
wow.
I mean, I feel like I'm an evangelist about this thing lately, but I am. It has affected my life so much, and I've worked with about 100 people with the bands now, and the results I'm seeing, I've never, in my 30 years of being a trainer, I've never seen those kind of results in any other training.
Wow.
So it is proven by science. If you look at, it's not just magic. There's science behind why this works, and it really is. I think the other reason it hasn't gotten popular, it has not been marketed to women, especially
there we
aging
go.
women.
Yeah,
right?
So mostly men, like bodybuilders, is that who
exactly?
Used it? Yeah,
bodybuilders, men, like guys in the gym that just wanted to get bigger muscles, and that's fine. It works for that. But for the menopausal women and older, it will change your life, not just give you a bigger bicep. It will change your life. So I feel like there's such a bigger benefit for women, but nobody's speaking to that audience. I mean, that's not the first time that's ever happened, right? It's like the kind of ignored audience, but it is
like the entire medical industry.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you Google it online, you'll just usually see men with veins and sweaty, and you're like, if you're a 50-year-old woman, you're not going to look, oh, that looks like a technique for me.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's just been completely missed the mark on how much this can help women, and nobody is making it accessible and feel unintimidating and safe and telling them exactly what to do. And that's kind of what I set out to do in my program. It's just, let's take this method and make it really easy to use so more and more women can get this great benefit that, is really, really needed.
Yeah. That's what you're doing, Ashley.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing. Very, very cool. Okay, so we wouldn't be responsible if we didn't talk about who this probably isn't for. What do you want to share about that?
Well, there are a few contraindications, but they're pretty specific. So if someone has active edema in their limbs, you shouldn't use it on that limb. You can use it on the other limbs and will actually improve. I've had people that it improves the edema depending on your situation because it's improving overall blood flow, but you shouldn't use it on that affected limb. Someone with very high blood pressure that's not being treated for it, you don't want to use it, but if you're being treated for high blood pressure, it's a great tool to use. You would just start out conservative. It's like any type of exercise. If you're not very fit and haven't exercised, you're not going to go do your hardest workout in the gym the first time. You're going to ease into it. This is the exact same. You just ease into it. You go lighter pressure on the bands. You go for a shorter amount of time. But what it's doing is it's creating more flexibility in our vascular system. As we age, our vascular system gets stiffer. You've heard of arteriosclerosis. Sure. That's a stiffening of the vascular system. That's what causes increased blood pressure. That's what causes risk of stroke and things like that. BFR keeps our vascular system more flexible. That's why people's blood pressure will go down. It decreases risk of stroke. So it's very good for people's blood pressure. But if you have really high blood pressure and it's not treated, then that's considered a contraindication.
Well, that's a whole issue separately than what we're talking about. But this is so important. And I think if you're not already saying this, Ashley, bring this, I'll encourage you to bring it to the forefront. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. #1 killer of women. And if this can help with, building stronger, not just this muscle, but our heart muscle and blood flow, in addition to strength and feeling better, looking better, that is a huge reason to try this.
Huge. Yeah. Well, one of the really cool things about it. So when you use BFR, even if you're not doing long cardio, but you can do really short cardio or even the strength training, your VO2 max will improve. You've heard of VO2 max?
That's your capacity.
Right. And when we think of VO2 max, I used to always think of your lung capacity and your heart's ability to beat, right? Well, that's like 2 parts of it, but the other 2 parts of it is your vascular system, which is huge, is delivering the blood to your muscles. And if your vascular system gets more efficient and more flexible, then your heart doesn't have to work as hard to get more blood to your muscle. And then your mitochondria that's the cell in our muscle that takes the oxygen from our blood and turns it into oxygen through ATP into our muscle. Our mitochondria get challenged during BFR, so they get denser and more efficient. So our VO2 max quickly goes up because the second half of our VO2 system, which is the vascular system and the mitochondria, get way more efficient. So it actually takes pressure off your heart because we're getting energy more efficiently to the muscle. So it really can help with heart health. Yeah, for sure.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I remember like the person really nervous about this whole contraption thing. And it's super simple. You saw me. If you're just tuning in with us, watch the beginning and where I put this on and demonstrate and tell what a weenie I was when Ashley sent it to me. And I'm in, and it just blows me away that using the band, I can use a 3-pound weight. I mean, really 3 pounds? I don't even know if I have a 3-pound weight. I mean, you can do that.
Isolating the arms, you would be surprised. 3 pounds can be enough. I use 5 pounds, but I've been doing this for a long time. But if you're doing fuller body stuff, if you're doing legs, you might use more weight, but you're going to always use 30 to 50%. So less than half of the weight you would normally use. And you always will do that. You never want to go heavy with BFR because in essence, it's fatiguing your muscle fibers more quickly. And so if you're trying to go heavy, you're going to be setting yourself up for potential injury. So you want to go light and you just want the burn, and you go higher reps because the more repetitions with the burn, the more human growth hormone your body's going to send to respond to this kind of like fatigue.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So yeah, you always want to go light, but it's about, 50% of what you normally would lift.
And you get probably some good dopamine at the end of that too, right?
Sure. Some people get such a brain, like that runner's high feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's a good natural approach to menopausal brain fog as well.
I'm telling you,
all the things.
I have several friends doing this that are, in their 50s, various ages of 50s, 60s, and we've all talked about how much this has helped our mental health and
that's
confidence
what I'm thinking.
and feeling.
The more blood going to the brain and dopamine, clarity.
Exactly. And then feeling a little more in control. I mean, is there any time in our life besides menopause that we feel less in control? It's like all these things are changing that we can't control. And this is like a way to take some control back in a very simple, accessible way. And the results come fast. So it's very empowering. Like I haven't felt as confident. I have my spark back. Like I mean, this is why I'm so excited to share it with the world, because it's truly changed my life. And I feel like it will for many, many others as well.
That is so amazing. I love it. I mean, I just feel your heart in this. And I know because you are an expert, you've been training people for so long and had to find a way to bring yourself back to strength, right? Through, everything that you've been through, and also the mental aspect of that. Huge.
For sure.
So exciting. Okay. I'm sorry.
Now I know you're going to try it.
Yeah. Excuse me, I have to go. I have to go work out with my BFR. My new BFF, BFR. There you
Oh
go,
my
Ashley.
gosh, that's a good one right there.
Right? BFR is your new BFF.
Oh my
I'm just
gosh,
saying.
that's a good tagline right there. Good job.
Put that together with some good nutrition and you're off and running.
Absolutely.
Ready to go. I love it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if people want to work with you and try this, and by the way, I'm going to connect you with Dr. Vonda Wright. She is an incredible, do you know Dr. Vonda? If you're not following her, everybody should be following Dr. Vonda.
I'll follow her.
Orthopedic surgeon in Florida, but all about lifting heavy and really amazing, but all the latest technology. So I'm sure she knows about this, but she's going to love, you two will love each other. So I will do that. But if people want to work with you, Ashley, or learn more, because I know that there's going to be more education required here.
For sure.
Because again, you get this cute backpack thing, but then inside you got to figure out what happens with all this stuff. And it's really simple. Remember, just watch the video, but there's that feeling. So how should people reach out to you, learn? I know you've got a class coming up, all the good things.
Exactly. Yeah. So my website specifically for this is called sellistrength.com. And on that website, there's a
SELI.
Oh, thank you.
Right?
Yeah. SELI strength.com. And there's a page on the website called What is BFR? And I have a couple webinars on there. There's some scientific studies that are attached there for people that want to understand the science or at least kind of double check what I'm saying, but it's all there in the science. And if anyone wants to, I'm happy to I've been doing consultation calls because people have questions and I'm happy to answer those. But through my website, you can get in touch with me there. And my website for my other gym is my other business, Evolution Trainers, but that's more for live personal training. So really for the virtual BFR is the Selli Strength, SELI. And yeah, the way I have people start, I have a 21-day intro program that just walks people each day really simply through exactly the video on how to use the bands, the practice, and really unintimidating. You start simple and it just gradually progresses. And then I have an ongoing monthly coaching community. I'm building a community of women that are doing this on a monthly basis where I do live Zooms. I send out specified homework. We have video libraries. And that's what I'm really excited about growing. But the 21 day is a great place to start and at least learn. And I even have a rental program where people can try it before they buy the bands to see if it's for them. Because I know that can be a barrier. The bands retail for $450, but I'm able to sell them for $350 because I get them at wholesale and I pass on my wholesale cost and I charge for my coaching. So the 21-day program is basically $200 and that's what the monthly coaching is too. So somewhat reasonable. But the bands are kind of, something you have to invest in. So I let people try it and then decide if they want to purchase the bands or not.
Well, I really better use these bands now. Or when I see you at a women's president's meeting, you're going to be like, give me my bands back. And I'm like, fair enough. I will give them back to you if I don't use them, but I'm going to use them.
I love it.
Right?
Once you start, you'll be hooked. I know. It's getting over that hump.
What I love too is talking about this and sharing this technology and sharing your passion and expertise around this is it gives women choices because we all, like menopause, we are all going through our own journey. It is not a one-size-fits-all way to get to the level of fitness and strength that we want. And so I love this as another tool to help someone who really doesn't want to lift, heavy weights or feels intimidated, but wants to get started in this way. So, there's pick your own adventure. That's what I say.
Choose your own adventure. That's right.
That's right.
100%.
That's it. Really cool. Quick question before you go. I always ask my guests, what does MenoWell mean to you?
MenoWell means surrounding yourself with others that support you and provide information, education. Specifically, your brand, I feel like, is amazing with all of that. I mean, I love your product, but I love the entire community you're creating around it because I think that's what women need during this phase of life. And I love that it's being talked about so much more and there's so much more support out there. And I think what you're doing is fabulous in that way.
Oh, thank you, Ashley, back at you. And I'm not afraid of your stuff anymore. I'm just saying.
Yay! Yay!
Shout out to Barb to making all the glue happen.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. Again, follow Ashley on Instagram. Go to Selly Strength, learn about BFR, read the articles, understand the science. And I think actually Laura said you had a promo code if anyone wants to jump in. Did I make that up?
Yes.
Okay.
No, there's a promo code BFR50, which gets $50 off either the rental program or the purchase program. So yeah, use that and you'll get $50 off the program if you're interested. And also like I said, feel free to reach out if people have questions that are not quite ready to take the leap, but they want to chat. Happy to do that. Cause right now I'm just on a mission to get more people, open to this and teach people about this and just really meet people where they are. I'm not at all trying to be trying to be salesy. It's just like the people that are interested, I'm happy to help them on this journey. So,
well, when you believe, and when you know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and if anyone wants to DM me and ask really how was it putting those bands on, I'll tell you the truth. Easy peasy. Thank you, Ashley. I hope to see you in person soon. We don't live that far away from each other.
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to the conference?
Yes. You see my fingers are crossed? Right. Okay. I have a hotel. Put it that way.
Okay, good. Well, maybe I'll see you there, but otherwise we'll definitely connect soon.
I love it. All the things. Thank you so much. Okay. Thanks everyone for being here and hanging out. Remember, BFR is your new BFF, right?
I love that.
All right.
I'm going to steal that.
Okay, it's all yours. There it is.
Okay.
All right. Be well, everyone. Bye-bye.
Right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ashley.